Welcome to the Sailor Noob podcast, where a superfan and a noob talk about the original Sailor Moon episode by episode. I'm your host, Mika Hana, joined by my co-host.
I'm the co-host, Caliban, still a noob. Welcome to the show.
After all this time.
Yeah.
And we're a couple of magical people ready to moon crystal power make up this episode. Sailor Noob is brought to you by Octopus Balls.
Moving on.
So today we are talking about episode number 54. Bunkasai wa watashi no tame, rei jo nesho in Japanese. The school festival is for me. Queen Ray's song, the English translation, and the English title, Ray's Day in the Spotlight.
For me?
For me?
Yeah.
I'm going to feign my surprise.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
I wanted to get into, real fast, a quick discussion / plug for our Patreon.
Yes.
Which exists.
It does.
At patreon.com / Sailor Noob.
Yes.
Got that one.
Got it.
No other Sailor Noob related property is begging money off of people. Just us.
It's just us.
We got there first.
We
broke the tape.
Yeah.
Yep. The meme of the guy, spraying the champagne. I guess he's third. Well, we're first and we're doing that. And there's nobody else on the dais. It's just us. But on the Patreon, we share extra content, outtakes, and we have an entirely different podcast called Anime Edification, which I sometimes get right. And we
me too.
have been having a good time over there. Just talked about Dragon Ball Z recently.
Dragon Ball, no Z.
Oh, man, that's right.
Yeah.
Well,
easy enough to do.
We do end up talking about Dragon Ball Z, though. That's not false.
Well, you're correct.
It might not be what we're supposed to be talking about.
Yeah.
The original Dragon Ball. But, but we talked about that a lot, and also other animes, and just a whole bunch of great shows that we see one episode of and then never watch again.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not as fun as I thought. Maybe
it's fun, but
maybe it's like one of those trailers that it's supposed to be a comedy, but you play sad music over it, and it's like, oh, this is kind of depressing. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, I think maybe we're slow. It's a progression of us slowly getting more depressed as we're like, wow, this is such a great show, and then by the end of the episode, we're like, we can't watch anymore.
That's a hard one to move on from.
Yeah.
Well, there we go.
Well, it was really hard to say no to
Our
that
eternal
one.
quest.
Yeah.
Like David Bruce Banner just walking off into the sunset as the music plays.
Yes.
But that's where we do it. We do it on Patreon at patreon.com / Sailor Noob. So join us if you want to hear extra content. You can find it right there. Patreon.com / Sailor Noob.
That's right. It's pretty exciting. I've been having a lot of fun with it. Would you like to do the honors, per usual, of a synopsis?
I don't know if I can do it justice, but I'll try.
For Miss Ray.
Yes, for the Queen.
Yes.
For Queen Ray.
For Queen Ray.
There's no crown. There's no ceremony, but she's Queen Ray for some reason.
Yep, yeah.
It's her day.
Yep.
And she's going to make it that way.
Mm-hmm.
We open at Hikawa's shrine, where Makoto is selling love amulets for the shrine. What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
And she tells the people there, these are so effective that no matter how many times my heart was broken, I found a new boyfriend every time. And for that reason, we're out of stock, so you have to come back later. No, I'm just kidding. And the young girls at the shrine are eating this up, and as they make their purchases, Minako is also there, and she says, if there's any problems, don't hesitate to bring them back. But Grandpa says to her, no, nothing will go wrong with them. No, just close the deal,
Yeah.
Not a saleswoman.
No.
A little too honest. Later, the girls are resting, and they're in full Miko outfits, by the way.
Yes.
So we've got Makoto and Minato are Miko. Japan, would you like to buy a syllable? Grandpa thanks them for their help. Usagi and Ami roll up, and they're like, where's Ray? And Grandpa says, well, she's the head of the Culture Festival Executive Committee, so she's been busy with that. He suggests that they become shrine maidens as well. But Usagi's like, First of all, doesn't want to be victimized by a sexual predator, but also she's like, yeah, I probably couldn't memorize all the sutras. But Grandpa's like, we don't chant sutras here. This is a shrine. We sell stuff. I'm about that green, yo. Which kind of really highlights the commercial nature of shrines in Japan. You know, you're not going to go see monks chanting.
Well, that's more at Buddhist temples than at Shinto shrines, but yeah.
ScarJo says in that Sofia Coppola movie, you know, it's really just like, what do you need? What do you got? What do you got? It's like going to the state fair.
There is a lot of that. I mean, you see that at temples too. Though. Yeah. You know, I mean, but that's how it's hard for me to really get angry because it's like kind of helps support.
Did we ever figure? We've already talked about shrines. Do they pay taxes?
A little bit. I don't know. We didn't really go super in depth about shrines, right. So that's something that's on my list for future.
We'll loop
topics.
Back, and I have a request: find out if they are tax free, like they are in the good old U.S. of A.
Oh, good question. Yeah.
At the 93 TA Culture Festival, Ray is leading the effort. She is acting as the forewoman on the stage as workers get the presentation all set up. Some other girl students ask her for help with another project, and she's annoyed, but she goes to help them out. And the girls are like, wow, Ray is so great. We'd be lost without her. And Ray yells at them like, what are you standing around for? And they're like, oh my God, she yelled at me. Awesome. I know. One time, Ray met John Stamos on a plane, and he told her she was pretty. I hear she does car commercials in America.
Exactly.
Now, we have another patented weird exchange. Ray is contemplating these two simps, and she's like, geez, with workers like this, I could use the help of cats. Okay? I've never heard that before, but I think I can get the idea from it.
Right.
You're herding cats.
Right.
They're not obedient.
Yes.
Yeah. Just then, Ami and Usagi show up, and Usagi has Luna and Artemis with her on her shoulders. And Usagi's like, here you go. Here are the cats. Mm-hmm. And it's like, what? That's so literal.
I know.
That's like Ray saying like, oh, a stitch in time saves 9. And Usagi pulls out a needle and thread. And she's like, here, start saving time. I don't get it.
I know.
Now I'm starting to think that getting the help of cats isn't actually a cool saying, but it was just a setup for the here are the cats bit.
I think maybe you're right.
Let's just reestablish Usagi's like obliviousness.
Yes. Which reminds me.
I'm going to keep saying get the help of cats though.
Which reminds me, I don't think you've done a Dumb Bunny score for a while. I was just thinking about that the other day.
Well, I think we organically retired it, but
okay.
I'm going to give her a 2 then.
Okay.
Dumb Bunny 2. It's back.
You can blame Mika.
But I'm going to keep using that in real life though. Like, well, we have to recount these votes. I could use the help of cats. Which might explain something. I don't know. Anyway, they brought her a package, Ami and Usagi, from Mako. We never find out what's in the package?
It's food.
That's what I thought.
It's a lunch.
Yeah.
Or
but it's not. But it's not. It's just like it's in a cute sack.
We don't see it, but lunches are often packed.
Little Kyokyo Miru.
Well, I guess a little bit. They're often packed in like a cloth like that. Like you'll have
like a hobo's bento?
No. Well, okay.
We brought you some beans.
You have like your little bento box, right? And then you have like your chopsticks or other utensils, typically chopsticks, and then you want to bundle that together. So you have a specific cloth. I don't know the name of it off the top of my head that you use specifically to tie that all up and make it look all cute.
It's like a box. It's a bento box.
Yeah, but the chopsticks don't fit in there.
Then make a little slot for the chopstick to go. What's the container store like in Japan?
Maybe sometimes
all the boxes that you buy come wrapped in a bigger cloth that goes around the boxes.
There are a lot of containers.
It should be called the kerchief store.
I don't know that there is actually a container store, but there are a lot of stores where you can buy containers, so I might as well.
Well, we don't know if this food gets eaten because they go and sit down to watch this rehearsal, and Ray starts singing a song on stage for rehearsal. And it's an image song, but we'll talk about it a little later. And as she's singing, the spotlight is on her, and it changes to this like intense red color. And she yells up at the follow spot girls, "Hey, this isn't a cabaret!" Which is it's a great line. Which the show again just steamrolls over. The girls are the same girls from before, and they're like, what do cabaret light look like? And she's like, never mind, take 5.
I think it's just
Again, they're
supposed
just
to illustrate
going back over the joke.
how dumb they are.
So Ray gets these great cracks in, and then the show has to stop and do it all over again to prove that Usagi and these girls are dumb.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just let the humor happen organically.
Yeah, I get your point.
Anyway. Okay, so Ray meets Ami and Usagi backstage, because I guess that's the end of the rehearsal. Mm-hmm. And Usagi's like, whoa, I dig that song. And Ray says, oh, really? I wrote and composed all the songs for the concert myself. And Ami is like, wow, it's kind of like this culture festival exists to promote your music. And Ray's like, well, yeah, why'd you think I took on all this responsibility? And then we do it again because the cats are like, oh, thank God she's still Ray. Is like Ray terminally self-absorbed? Like I never really got that from her. She works at a shrine, for crying out loud. She's got to be somewhat selfless.
I know. The anime does this sometimes with Ray.
I got an idea. A song at a festival.
Yeah.
Who's going to do that one? Is it the sailor that literally was a pop star? How about Ray? What?
So there's a couple things going on here. This does not exactly line up with anything in the manga, but there is some sort of there is a culture festival at Ray's school.
Yeah,
but,
the TA.
But she in the manga she does fortune tellings, which at least is like somewhat. I mean, she can kind of sense the future or read things,
Yeah, she can count down and things will appear in a fire.
Exactly.
So just do that.
But
the fortune telling club.
Yeah, right. But for some reason this is what they went with. And then also this is I wasn't sure where to mention this whenever, but the manga and the anime, there's a lot of differences with characters, but Ray is maybe the most disproportionate. Like, it tends to show her she tends to be a little meaner to Usagi.
Well, she's definitely mean. But now she's got musical ability. So
well, yeah, I know.
That's a thing.
That's not going
to come back.
I don't recall if it comes back at all, to be perfectly honest.
Well, let's see what happens with it in this episode. Mm-hmm. In a tree outside of the venue, we see Ail and An in their human forms, and they say, a culture festival. This would be a great place to get a ton of youthful energy and some funnel cakes.
Yes.
That night at the shrine, the girls have gathered. Mako and Miko say, well, we're going to take the day off tomorrow from working at the shrine. We'll come see you in the show. But Ray's like, oh, no, Grandpa was going to take the day off as well. But Mako says, oh, Yuichiro can handle it. Quick flash to Yuichiro. Never see him again. Still exists. Still alive in this world.
Just want to confirm.
The girls are impressed that Ray could write all the music, and Ray says, oh, it was easy. But while she's saying this, we cut to a montage of her like really struggling to write it, and she's like writing on notes. She crumples up the ball of paper and throws it away, and she's like sitting, with her head in her hands, thinking about this music. And it's just a little color, a little background, a little dissonance between what she's saying and what we hear. I thought that was kind of interesting.
I like that.
She also has a big electronic keyboard that she's working on.
I know.
And it probably would have been really expensive back then. I thought she was poor.
No, that is not.
The shrine does
false.
Okay?
So her grandpa Hino is her dad's dad. I think it's a little confusing, but
are you somehow telling me that out of 5 anime girl characters whose parents we never see, none of them are orphans?
No, that's not true. Makoto is an orphan.
Wait, she is?
Yes.
Okay.
Did I spoil that for you?
I think when she's first introduced, somebody might say that. I don't remember them talking about her parents at all.
Okay, I just spoiled that. Awesome. Anyways.
I think you owe me a sticker.
I think you earn a sticker because I spoiled something. So you just pick out a sticker.
I refuse the penalty.
Okay, all right. I mean, do you want to know about
No,
Ray's
I don't want to know
parents?
about that. Let's just move on. Forget about it. So anyway, she writes the music, and it was easy because she says, I'm a talent. And Artemis is like, but you're a warrior. Should you spend all that time on music? And Luna says, it's okay once in a while, I guess. You were the ones that wanted them to have regular lives.
I know. Good point.
That's all over. Now you're just little child warriors. Come on.
Yeah, right.
I just want to play my music, Dad. Well, I should start a band with cats. At the festival the next day, we learn why Grandpa really wanted to go. Lots of underage girls.
Oh, boy.
He's trying to recruit girls to work the shrine, if you know what I'm saying.
Uh-huh.
But he gets no takers.
No.
Usagi's already in festival mode. She's like, all right, where's the takoyaki? Where's the yakisoba?
Yep.
Where's the kararaisu?
Yep.
Pretty proud of myself.
Good job.
Yeah, I know the food words for Japanese. As they walk through the festival, they see the signs for all the various clubs, which they can't join because this is Ray's school, I guess. But anyway, there's the tea ceremony club, the dance club. There's a cake contest, which Mako wins with a Christmas cake, which I thought was a nice little Japanese culture
very
thing
Japanese.
there. There's fashion club, arts club, puzzle ring. I don't know. There's golf club, which is like, are you guys doing a thing? No, it'd be good if you were.
They're
you have
not.
to bring your own clubs, golf club. And then there's like a match game type thing where they're like they're like pairing up with boyfriends or something.
Yeah.
And Ami has gone off to see some kind of boring lecture for nerds. In the midst of all this, we see Ail and An in human form, and they're about to do their thing, get that energy. But Ail is stopped by a group of girls who say, "Oh, he's perfect. Let's get his measurements. Get hers too." And a long-haired girl introduces herself as Sakuraku Ogi from the Fashion Design Club. She wants them to model the clothes that she's designed. The theme, aliens from outer space. And Ail and An are like, ooh. And Ail's like, she knows.
I know.
But Ogi is like, you guys don't believe in aliens, do you? And they're like, what, us? No. No, we don't believe in aliens. Ray's concert is about to start, and the girls are like, wow, Ray did all this. She's got some leadership skills. And Luna says, I wish someone would learn those skills from her. And Usagi says, I'll hit you, Luna, as she hits Luna. And Luna's like, why'd you say it after you hit me? First of all, call the SPCA, but second of all, what? The bits are a little like they're just there's a little
point.
slip, a little hitch in the giddy up. Some of these bits.
Yeah.
At the concert, backstage, Oogie, Oogie has Ail and An dressed as aliens for the opening act, which are of course like ridiculous costumes, like they're in a B movie. They get pushed out on stage, and I can't tell if this is clearly the fashion club has created these costumes. This is their contribution.
Yes.
But it feels like some prank, because all the kids in the audience are like, this is going to be good. Let's see who we got for this. Like they're being hazed.
It kind of seems like maybe the fashion club is considered to be a joke in this.
Oh, God. Okay, that's a good headcanon. But of course,
that's just what I'm getting from
their costumes look ridiculous, and people are laughing at them. But they're like, these people love this. This is it.
Yeah.
It has to be like this. And they go through a whole bunch of like costumes and poses, and they're like, eh. And between them, they're like, oh yeah, I can feel all the energy here. A star is born.
Yeah, I know, right?
This is the spot. This is where we'll do it. And the curtain comes down on them. Next up is Ray. The curtain opens on her in her little frilly concert outfit, and she's like, Azuma Juban, are you ready to rock? Thank you for coming to see Ray. She's speaking in the third person. And she starts singing another image song, which we'll get to. On the roof, Ail and An release Sirens, their mermaid cardigan. On stage, Ray immediately senses an evil aura, and like 1 second later, good job, Spider Sense, Sirens flies in with a Sirian!
Yeah.
And sprinkles gold dust on everyone?
Yeah,
which makes
apparently.
them fall asleep.
Yeah.
Grandpa yells at her, hey, do you want to be a part-time shrine maiden? And he falls asleep. Our girls are smart. They've gotten under their chair so they don't get hit with dust. Ail and An then just F off and just leave. They just quit the episode.
They're like, let's just go back to the Makai tree.
We'll go back to the Doom tree and we'll wait it out. Sirian swoops down to attack Ray and wraps her in her hair. But the girls come out and do a super sweet 4-way transformation into their sailor outfits. And we get a supreme bubble thunder spray. And Sirian drops Ray, but she grabs all 4 sailors instead.
Yes.
It looks pretty bad, but Ray transforms herself, eating up a lot of time in this episode. So it's a solo transformation.
Yep.
And she says, you ruined my concert, and you attacked my fans. In the name of Mars, I'll chastise you. She's not looking good. She had her energy drained before. And as we established, transforming does not change how hurt you are.
No.
Still hurt.
It does not. It does not, like, boost your electrolytes or what have you.
Ray offers up a fire soul. It hits Syrian and burns away her hair. But it's a good look for her. It's cute. She should keep it short. Yeah. And she's still standing on her flippers. And there's one point where she flies mostly, but she takes a step forward and kind of goes flip, flip.
I was a good, it's a nice touch.
She flies at Ray, who is too weak to fight back. It looks bad, but a white rose streaks down and buries itself in the floorboards. Yes. And a voice says, "In a corner of the soundless universe, there is a star that plays a beautiful melody. That is Earth. The Moonlight Knight will not forgive anyone who tries to stop this music. Sailor Mars, sing one more time." He dives at Syrian, sword drawn, and Syrian lashes out with her tail, thrashing Ray's sheet music aside. And this is when Ray hulks out. She chants the Kujin. She hits Syrian with a fire soul bird. A burst of fire streaks forth and forms into a fiery bird. And Syrian tries to counter it with water, but the bird dodges the water.
Yeah.
And hits Syrian. Doesn't cause her to burst into flames. It causes her to leak the energy she stole.
Yeah.
And the sailors are back on their feet. We get a Moon Princess halation at MPH from Sailor Moon. And it's cleansing time for Syrian. Show's over.
Yes.
The Moonlight Knight says, "Nice work. Keep lighting your hearts. Adieu." And he disappears. And we cut, I guess, to like maybe later. Like the auditorium is once again full. I guess everybody's okay.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know how you explain what happened. And
that's one thing I was wondering.
Ray is on stage again in her dress. She says, "In a corner of the soundless universe, there is a star that plays a beautiful melody. That is Earth." The Moonlight Knight gets on the phone to his Moonlight lawyer. And she says, "This one's called Eternal Melody. I hope you enjoy it."
Yeah.
And she sings the song. And we see in a montage, the girls are sitting by a bonfire. And Usagi tells Ray, "You were really great. You must work really hard." Mm-hmm. And Ray at first is like, "Oh, shucks, kind of." But then she's like, "I could teach you a thing or two." And Usagi's like, "Why, you are..." That usual thing.
The usual, the typical thing that they do. I thought it was kind of cool too. The Cardian, the first time Ray sets her on fire, like she douses herself in water to like put it out.
Yeah, she like vomits water straight up, and then it comes down and puts the fire out. Yeah,
I was like, impressive.
Gross.
And gross.
Not quite a goo shooter, but close. This reminded me of the goo shooter.
Oh, yeah, kind of. Well, she was kind of, I forget her name exactly, but her name was like a play on word on like seashells and stuff like that. And she had a whole bunch of seashells all over her. So it was kind of like a ocean theme as well. Yeah. And also very gooey, liquidy.
Not sure if she's actually got legs or not.
Yeah, right. Exactly. No, I could totally see that. Did you catch that the Moonlight Knight said, "Sailor Mars, I'd love to hear you sing again"?
Yeah.
Which indicates that he knows that Ray is Sailor Mars.
I suppose. I mean, there's a dark-haired girl in a red dress singing.
I know that.
And then if he's just hiding in the rafters...
Yeah, I mean,
he's just watched her transform, right?
Yeah, right.
So it's... I mean, you could say you and Sailor Moon fandom.com both... emphasize that idea. So I don't know if you guys are like future spoiling something.
No.
But I mean, I think I could just, assume that he either already knew, I guess, or he just saw what happened. And so
I mention it just because like nobody else seems to catch on. That's the only reason I mention it.
Well, so does SailorMoonFandom.com.
Yeah.
But I'm like, are we even tracking that at this point?
Yeah, not religiously, no.
So yeah, you're right. When she is singing her song Eternal Melody.
Yeah.
And the Righteous Brothers are calling their righteous lawyer.
Oh.
Which is I guess that's her image song. It's I got the lyrics somewhere.
I got them.
It's just about love and you're in my heart being courageous.
Right, exactly. It's and the name in Japanese is Ain no Melody. And it's her image song from Sailor Moon R, and it was sung by Ray's voice actress Michie Tomizawa. And yeah, it's a very sweet song about love, and you are here in my heart. Say thanks for your bravery. Look, the newly loved power covering everything, shining brightly. Even more than the spacious sky and the sea, my dreams have no limits. I have realized that because I am in love.
Before, in the rehearsal, she starts singing a song called I'm Not Relieved, which is supposed to be... we didn't hear this in the first
season. See, this is confusing. No, this is the first time that we heard it. And what when I was looking it up, it's called in Japanese Hotokenayo, and the translation that I looked at said that translates as can't leave her alone. And it's both Ray and Ami's image song. They sing it together as a duet, and it's their image song from season 1. But the first time we actually hear it in the show is this episode. Right. So I think...
So how's that season 1?
Because I think... what I'm thinking is there was
on a soundtrack or something?
Yeah, soundtrack.
Okay.
And that's where it came out. And of course it was sung by both of their voice actresses, and it's really fun. Like they're singing about Usagi and Sailor Moon, and how
I guessed.
Yeah. And how they can't leave her alone, but they're there to support her and stuff like that. And it's like Ami sings, being sent into a tizzy by your mama of all people. Look, we haven't the time for this sort of thing. The enemy is starting to gather. We have to be strong and get on with kicking them down. And then they both sing, I can't leave her alone. I'll help her out because I'm her friend. And then let's see.
Where is my hat? Do you mean this hat? Oh, there it is.
Yeah. And then Ray later sings, what's wrong? Did you get refused by some guy again? Dazed and confused? Smile. There's no point in brooding about it.
Do these just get folded right into like the stage shows, or there's there different music for those?
There's different music for that. But I did want to mention that this particular song, the lyrics were written by Naoko Takeuchi.
Oh.
Yeah.
There you go.
So there you go. I did not know that she had written any songs for the show. So I think that's pretty cool. And we'll talk about the songs that they use in the Deke dub later when we talk about the changes.
I also like that one of the lyrics is wink. Are you just saying wink?
Are you saying the word wink?
You just wink. Let's go. Smile.
I have to
wink.
I have to get
it's
across.
A command. Okay, so you're telling, hey, smile. Hey, wink. Wink at me.
Do it.
Where's this going?
We're happy now. This is what's happening.
Call the cops.
Oh my god. So Caliban, you finally show your face. Just in time for me to blow it off.
It's fitting you chose to hide in this abandoned movie theater, Mika and Hana, because for you, the show's over.
Big talk, but soon you'll be as dead as all the well-loved celebrities we lost this year.
When I'm done, they'll be cleaning you off the walls like COVID-19.
Wait, where's your face mask?
I thought we were going to fight outside.
Oh, come on!
I mean, if the murder hornets aren't out there still.
Take this.
If you want to watch HBO Max on my phone,
I'll start cooking some beans in this old boot. Just Enough Trope. News, reviews, and apocalyptic views every Monday on the Just Enough Trope Network.
Won't the 5G kill us? Shh.
Kero Miro, or Curiously Looking Around, where we talk about elements of Japanese culture within the episode. Today I thought we would talk about cultural festivals, or bunkasai, in Japan.
Bunkasai.
Yes, and that was in the title. So cultural festivals, or bunkasai in Japan, are annual open day events held by most schools, from nursery schools to universities, at which students present their artistic, creative, and organizational accomplishments.
Nursery schools.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Wow.
So people who are interested in attending the school themselves, or who want to learn more about it, may come to see the schoolwork and atmosphere. Come to see what the schoolwork and the atmosphere are like. Parents also attend to see what kind of work their children have been doing. And bunkasai are typically open to the public, especially at high schools and universities. According to the curriculum guideline of the Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports, Science, and Technology, it's mixed! Remember them?
Yes.
Yes. Bunkasai are part of special activities and are specified as, quote, events which aim to use the results of everyday learning to heighten motivation. Yeah.
All right. Good in theory. Mm-hmm. Pretty much just a slogan, though.
Maybe.
Like, how does that?
Well, we'll get into it. It's there is a little bit of that for sure.
Christmas cake. I'm super motivated.
Well, no. Okay, I get what you're saying. There's more to it than maybe was presented specifically in the episode, but bunkasai are parts of regular lessons in elementary through high schools, so the students are required to attend in order to graduate. In universities, bunkasai are considered an extracurricular activity, so attendance is not obligated. Traditionally, most schools hold bunkasai on or around Culture Day, which is on November 3rd annually and is a Japanese national holiday. Typically, it is held on a Saturday or Sunday, sometimes even both. However, that is definitely not when the bunkasai is in the episode takes place, as just 3 episodes ago, in episode 51, they were celebrating Hanami, which is sometime in March or April. I don't think we skipped that much time and went all the way to November in that short of many episodes. I don't think that's what happened.
Huh.
There are some schools who choose to hold their bunkasai event in the summer or fall, though this is unusual, and I definitely feel like it is still spring in the world of Sailor Moon at this point. Culture Day, or Bunka no Hi in Japanese, which is the November 3rd holiday, is held for the purpose of promoting culture, academic endeavor, and the arts. Celebrations usually include parades, art exhibitions, and award ceremonies for distinguished scholars and artists. Cultural festival, or bunkasai, and university festival, which is sometimes referred to as daigakusai, are common nouns in Japanese, so particular names of cultural festivals are determined by the school's name. For example, the festival at the University of Tokyo Komba campus is called Kombasai. The sai part of these words within this context means ritual, celebrate, or worship. Bunkasai are held to present the students' learning, but many attendees visit just for fun. Alumni often visit their alma maters during the school's bunkasai. Bunkasai are also meant to enrich people's lives by increasing social interaction and promoting community ties. In general, the older the age group of students, the more elaborate the bunkasai is. Preschools and kindergartens ordinarily just exhibit what a typical school day is like. So it's kind of like more like an open house type sort of thing. And maybe the teacher might do a sample lesson or something like that and have the students involved.
Just read a book, probably.
Yeah, exactly. Elementary schools tend to perform a play, and in recent years, this sometimes alternates between student art festivals or music concerts. For junior high and high schools, the school usually selects an annual theme, and each class puts on some sort of event that relates to the theme. So they are way more elaborate. The general idea is that each class event is arranged and collaborated on entirely by the students, with little to no help from teachers who are there to supervise. The class votes and determines what to do. Many transform their classrooms into cafes, create haunted houses, perform plays, concerts, and dances, or even host Japanese tea ceremonies. In addition to individual classes, members of certain clubs, have we mentioned, just a side note, yet that most Japanese students in junior high and high school belong to at least one club?
Yeah.
Okay. That's very, very common. It's almost kind of unusual that if you choose not to, I mean, that's totally fine, but it's not required. Let me put it that way. But so the clubs will also put on events or presentations. Student clubs generally create club theme related presentations to try to attract more and future recruits. So that's like a lot of the snapshots that we saw at the beginning, you know, like the dance. Well, I guess they could have been classes too, but like the fashion club that did the alien fashion show, that was a club specifically.
What is the responsibility of students to these clubs? Because you said, like, in some cases it's weird if you wouldn't be in a club. In some cases, like, you have to do a club.
You don't have to. I feel like animes make it sound like you have to, but there's a lot of...
And this goes on their transcript or their college prospects.
I don't know about that.
This might be insane for a American to ask a Japanese person, but why would you do this? Do you know what I mean? Maybe I'm alienating it too much. I mean, because there's chess club, there's chess club. I'm a dork. I was in chess club. I can't think of any other clubs.
Drama
club. NHS, drama club. There's stuff in American schools.
Yes.
But there just seems to be so many things. And sure, I like baking and I'm really good at home ec, but I go home on the bus after school. I don't then go to
there's like a baking
classroom
club or
and bake with
club.
A bunch of kids.
Yeah.
So what are they getting out of this?
I think it's a chance to socialize with other students.
Fortnite.
Yeah. And like maybe plan activities, plan
so
for
it
the
really
bunkasai.
Isn't for anything.
Yeah, for high school students, they often get credit for certain achievements within clubs. And I should also mention that maybe what we think of as clubs, there's a much wider variety. In Japan, I mean, I think a lot of the things that we've already mentioned do exist, but like choir would be considered a club, orchestra and band would be considered a club.
Really?
Yes.
I got credits, like class credits for music.
They might have classes too, but
it
was like fun stuff and everything too. But like sports are clubs too. So the golf club, that was the golf club. So
okay,
yeah. So just there's a much wider range of things. Classes typically utilize their own classrooms, but with clubs, the entire school campus is often part of the festivities. Japanese students are urged to take a lot of pride in their school, in their class, and the way that they are able to work together as a team. Having the best banner, the best presentation, or the best performance at the festival is about more than personal pride. It's a confirmation of your place in your school.
Huh.
Bunkasai is an opportunity for schools to display their best attributes and character in front of an audience. It is an opportunity for students to take what they have learned in their previous lessons for the last year and to utilize it to produce a performance for their teachers, peers, parents, and for the public. Bunkasai can differ greatly from school to school. Bunkasai tend to be a lot of work, and there is a lot of energy and time that goes into planning and preparing that goes on for months for a typically one-day event that only lasts for a few hours. Students frequently stay at school very late to try to get everything ready in time. As the event gets closer, classes are even canceled to allow students time to prepare and practice. Most schools also have some sort of larger event that everyone is encouraged to attend, typically a dance, a bonfire, or even an event hosted by the teachers. Bunkasai are often featured in anime and manga. If an anime or manga is set mostly in a school, it is extremely likely that it will have an episode or even an arc that takes place during the school's annual Bunkasai. In more recent years, some bunkasai, and talking about real life now, attractions have gotten a lot of social media attention, which I'm sure for the most part the schools themselves really like. In 2015, third-year students, so that's seniors, at Yamikoma High School in Setagaya Ward, Tokyo, created a musical arcade-style game called Chronotone for their bunkasai. The students really put a lot of effort into making it a high-quality game in which players could choose the song and difficulty level, including their high school's own song. They created 2 consoles for festival attendees to play, and in true Japanese arcade fashion, you see your results at the end of each game, including your speed, accuracy, and of course, a letter grade.
All the kids got D's for that trimester, or that school year.
Exactly, I know. In 2019, a group of students made a roller coaster inside a room in their school. The coaster was constructed with a wooden slide that was stacked and reinforced by cable ties on top of students' school desks that were stacked on top of each other. It was pretty high.
I think I saw a video for that.
Yeah. The video, I think, went viral. One person rides in a wooden cart and receives a push from 2 other students and proceeds down the roller coaster, turning corners. And at one point, the cart even moves backward and then it stops on the ground. So, yeah. And then I guess after the video was posted, like, there are a lot of people concerned about how safe it is. And it's like, we've been doing this for a really long time. This was a test run. Riders were, had to wear helmets. All the desks were separately reinforced. It's like, oh my goodness.
They wanted to do a Ferris wheel, but they couldn't do it indoors. That wouldn't have worked.
No, not enough room.
Just like 2 desks. Like taped to like a wheel that just kind of goes around, scrapes the ceiling. Duck.
I know. There has been a slew, I guess, of the teacup ride at Disney World, where students like actually move you in the carts. Anyways, in 2019, the modeling club at a high school displayed their large scale model of the Unicorn Gundam, which was only constructed out of cardboard and then painted. And looks really realistic.
Stop! My sense of disillusionment can only get so erect.
It took 6 members of the club 2 years to construct.
No grade, huh? Now, you and I...
Maybe they get something.
You and I are different. Well, I mean, I don't know what's involved in it, because it's not like, I want to be in robotics. This is cardboard. You can't go to, like... It's Sony, and they're going to be like, neat.
I know.
You and I are kind of skewed in the data because we were in theater, and so we had to spend a lot of time after school doing stuff like that.
Yes.
But other than that, you're not much of a joiner. You did a lot of going home after school. That was smart of you.
Wow.
So I just like, what is it about? They put it, look. Far be it from me to try to to denigrate their efforts, but why so studious? You want to know how I got these calluses?
Well,
I made a roller coaster in my classroom. You know what I mean? Like,
they
American
want to be
kids
the best.
just go home, but the Japanese kids are like, no, I can't go home. I got to cut some cardboard tracks out tonight.
Yes.
What?
Because they want to be the best. They want to be the best at their school. They want to have pride in their class and as a group and as a team.
They need sports.
Yeah.
They need American football.
I did come across in my reading that I guess it's been talked about that sometimes bunkasai it's sometimes talked of as students trying to run a business. I know. I know. I almost didn't even want to say it.
But it's
so. I know.
All right.
So
okay. Hey, we're gonna run into culture shock. Instances of it.
Yes.
Now and again on this show.
That is
I'm
correct.
Surprised it took this long, but I have to say I don't get this. And like you pointed out, like how this has been represented in like anime and things like that.
Yes.
But I feel like American high school films often do this. There's like a big dance, and we're on the planning committee, and we've got to do this. No, nobody in my high school ever spent as much time as the kids in Veronica Mars did on the Neptune Ball or whatever. It's like takes up like half of every episode. It was never that much.
I know.
And in fictional settings, like everybody's really excited about the All Valley Karate Tournament. You know, oh, did you hear about that karate? Everybody in town's going to be there. Really? Really?
I
For
know.
a karate tournament?
I get it. It's just like
But generally, like, I just don't. And I live in a state that is, cares about the arts. I think if you were
Yes.
going to like weigh it against other states, but no, man, just go home. You just go home.
Well,
I got to do my homework.
I think you have to, keep in mind too that in junior, actually elementary through
they're doing it in nursery school.
I know, but elementary through high school, they have to do it in order to graduate.
Yeah, right. You have to do it in order to graduate, but yet you don't get a grade or any credit for it.
Yeah, I see your point.
Now you get in there and you finish that roller coaster.
It's your pride.
Or you're not going to walk.
I know, right? It's like internships. You get paid with experience,
and you're required to go to school.
Yeah, I know. For Itadakimasu with Usagi, what did Usagi eat in this episode? Of course, at Rei's bunkasai, Usagi has food on her mind and asks Mako and Minako, where are the octopus balls? And how about the fried noodles and the curry rice? So, of course, as you mentioned earlier, octopus balls are called takoyaki in Japanese, and the fried noodles are yakisoba. So we're going to look at both of those a little bit more in depth. Takoyaki is a spherical-shaped Japanese snack or appetizer made with a wheat flour-based batter and cooked in a specialized molded pan, which is usually made out of cast iron. It is typically filled with minced or diced octopus, or tako in Japanese, T-A-K-O, tempura scraps, or tenkasu, pickled ginger, or beni shoga, and green onion, or negi.
It tastes okay, I guess. Could be better.
Delicious. The oil from the tempura scraps adds a more robust and umami flavor, as well as more crispness to the batter and creaminess to the inside of the takoyaki balls. So that's one reason why that ingredient is included. The balls are brushed with takoyaki sauce, which is similar to a Worcestershire sauce in taste. And consistency, and Japanese mayonnaise, and then sprinkled with aonori, which is a type of seaweed, and dried bonito flakes, which is also known as katshobushi. I think we've talked about this previously, but yaki comes from the word yaku, which is a cooking method in Japanese cuisine, which means to fry or grill. And it is part of the names of numerous dishes in Japanese food. Takoyaki was first popularized in Osaka, where a street vendor named Tomokichi Endo has been credited to inventing it in 1935. Takoyaki was inspired by another dish called akashiyaki, which is a small rounded dumpling from the city of Akashi in Hyogo Prefecture on the main island of Honshu, and it is made of an egg-rich batter and octopus. So similar but different. Takoyaki was initially popular in the Kansai region, and then later spread to the Kanto region, which is like southern Japan, and then other areas of Japan as well. It is associated with yatai street food stalls, so it's a very common thing that you see vendors selling on the street. Particularly in Kansai, and it is also now commercially sold in supermarkets as well as convenies, which are the convenience stores. And you can also get it in restaurants as well. The oldest known takoyaki store is Azuya in Osaka, which was founded by the creator in the 1930s. And the first takoyaki included beef and cognac. But later Endo changed it up to utilize the now traditional octopus and added flavor to the batter.
Huh.
Yeah.
I could see. It wouldn't be taco.
No.
But I can't eat takoyaki anymore.
I know what you're going to say.
It's delicious. But
it is delicious.
I just can't. Octopus, they're too smart.
They're very smart.
I mean, you would need a dog. You would need a cat. And octopuses are definitely smarter than cats. I love cats. But,
I love cats.
But cats, I don't know. And yeah, I mean, like, they're not cute because they're underwater and they're all slimy and they can fit through a hole. But, like, most of their body is brain. They have brain all the way through their body, and they have, millions more neurons than other creatures their size, and they can solve problems, and they have personalities, and they play. If you leave them alone by themselves, they'll play and mess around, and they do things like get out of their tanks and like flood aquariums because they figure out how like faucets and things like that work, and it's just like I just don't want to eat that.
It makes me sad.
And when they take over, they'll remember me.
Yeah, there you go. Don't eat cow. Got it.
Just eating everybody else with their beaks, and they see me and a little tentacle caresses my face. They just pat me on the head and just keep on with the rampage.
That's exactly it. So, I will say, like, takoyaki is good, and if you are going to try it, just make sure that you blow on it profusely before sticking it in your mouth.
Coming out of that cast iron. Real hot.
I have definitely severely burned the top of my mouth by putting a too hot takoyaki in my mouth before. So watch out for that. The takoyaki sauce goes really well with beer and other alcoholic beverages, which is at least one reason that it is a very popular dish to include on the menu at izakaya restaurants in Japan. Yakisoba, there's that yaki again, means fried noodle, and it is a Japanese style stir-fried noodle dish. And typically soba in Japanese means buckwheat noodle, but the soba and yakisoba it's actually a what are sometimes called Chinese noodles or chuuka soba, and it's made from a wheat flour. And they also are made with something called kansui, which is it's a lye water or alkaline salt. It's an alkaline like solution, and it regulates acidity and the process of making the dough that makes the noodles. And as well as water. And so even though they have that yellowish hue to them, they're not egg noodles. And the color is a result of that kansui. And they typically, if you buy them from the store, they are steamed and packaged, so they're ready to eat quickly, and they're usually packed with oil as well. So it uses a lot of similar ingredients to takoyaki in a lot of ways. Usually it has like a Worcestershire type sauce. I think it's a little bit different. But you fry the noodles as well as small pieces of usually pork, chopped vegetables like typically cabbage, onion, bean sprouts, or carrots. Typical garnishes include aonori, beni shoga, and the bonito flakes, again, as well as the Japanese-style mayonnaise. So both of these foods are very popular at festivals, including bunkasai, because it's pretty easy, it's simple ingredients, and it's easy to set up and cook a lot of.
Sure.
So, even though yakisoba is typically eaten off of a plate, it's still something that would be considered street food.
The food trucks roll up.
Right, exactly. Villain gauge, we rate a baddie 1 to 5 dark stars, 5 being the most wicked. The Guardian for this episode is Sirens. So her name, Siren, is a reference to the siren in Greek mythology. And in Greek mythology, the sirens were treacherous beings who coaxed nearby sailors with their singing and chanting music to shipwreck on the rocky coasts of their islands or jump into the waters to their deaths. Originally, sirens were depicted as either female or male. However, the male siren vanished from art around the 5th century BC.
They took a stock, they took inventory,
Yep.
and went, boy, these female sirens flying off the shelves. Nobody wants a male siren. Although Harry Styles can apply if you'd like.
Oh my goodness, stop it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like I don't know. We can get into like patriarchy or whatever if we want to, but just the idea of like a sexy lady singing a song is stuck with us, and a sexy man singing a song, not so much.
It's weird.
I don't know.
I don't know what it is. I mean,
but the next sexy lady singing a song I see, I'm gonna stuff wax in my ears and just be like, nope.
Yep, exactly.
Sail right by.
Yes. Roman poets said that they dwelled on some small islands called Sirenum Scopuli. Various locations for these islands have been named by different authors and authorities. In Homer's Odyssey, they were between Aiaia and the rock of Scylla. I hope I'm pronouncing Scylla. Wow, I'm really butchering these names. This is awesome. They frequently have been indicated to be in the Tyrrhenian Sea, which is off the southwestern coast of Italy near Paestum and between Sorrento and Capri. There's food named after those things.
Yeah, I was going to say. And pants.
Yeah.
Got those.
It's
the Tyrrhenian Sea, but
yeah. Okay. Tyrrhenian Sea. See, this is embarrassing. Moving on.
This is all has to do with Italy, so and Greece,
I don't know how to pronounce
it.
Other traditions place the sirens on Capo Pelero or the Sirenus Islands near Paestum. All of these places were described as being surrounded by rocks.
It's like the Juicy Lucy.
Yeah,
everybody's got their own siren.
Yeah,
and they're the best.
Yeah, exactly.
I
think you're right. Yeah, we had them first. Sirens were originally thought to look like a combination of women and birds in many different forms. In early Greek art, they were represented as birds with large women's heads.
Complete that phrase quickly.
As birds with large women's heads, bird feathers, and scaly feet. Later, they were depicted as female figures with the bird legs, with or without wings, playing an assortment of musical instruments, mostly lyres and harps.
Lyres, but yeah.
Oh my God, this is, wow, lyres. Okay.
Lyre Lyre.
Yeah, Lyre Lyre.
It's about Orpheus.
Really?
No, but I just created a Greek reboot of Lyre Lyre.
I like
with,
it.
Orpheus and Eurydice.
I like it. The 7th century Anglo-Latin catalog Liber Monstranum says that sirens were women from their heads to their belly buttons, and instead of human or bird legs, they had fishtails. The 10th century Byzantine encyclopedia Suda says that from their chests up, sirens had the form of sparrows, and the bottom halves of their bodies were human women. Yep.
Like BoJack Horseman or something.
Yeah,
like
that. Right. Or alternatively, they were small birds with human women faces. Which honestly,
and if you're a Greek sailor, you're like, give me some of that.
I know, right?
Lady-faced bird in the hand is worth 2 on that island over there. Let's get it.
Yeah, and by the Middle Ages, the figure of the siren had changed into the enduring mermaid figure,
right?
Which is what we typically see these days. The number of sirens varies from various tellings, from either 2 to 8.
So
I thought there'd be more,
or 48.
Yeah, right. Although they bewitched mariners, the Greeks depicted the sirens in their, quote, meadow starred with flowers, and not as sea creatures. Roman writers connected them more closely to the sea, as daughters of, okay, and I looked this up and there were 4 different pronunciations.
Let's see if I can figure out what you're talking about by sort of like, it's like hand grenades. We're going to get around it,
Okay.
Artillery fire.
Okay, one pronunciation, Phorcys. Phorcys? Phorcys. You're having a good time over there.
There was only 3.
Oh, Sorry. I meant 3. There, the word 4 is in front of me because that's the first part of his name. He was a primordial sea god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phorcys?
Yes.
Spell it.
How is his name spelled? It's Phorcys.
Oh. Phorcys.
Phorcys. Okay. See? There you go.
The sea monster.
Yes. And when the sirens are named, however, they are typically depicted as daughters of the river god.
Or Phorcys.
Phorcys?
Well, the C in Greek is often a K type sound.
Okay. So if they're named, they're usually depicted as the daughters of the river god. I'm going to try to pronounce this one. I looked this one up as well. Achelois, or it's Achelous. Sirens are found in many Greek stories, notably in Homer's Odyssey, in which he was warned about them by Circe, and he told his sailors to stuff wax in their ears, which is what you're talking about, and he tied himself to the mast. And I can't remember if they lost anybody or not.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Because they took the precaution.
Yeah.
But Pete got turned into a frog, though.
What?
The women in Oh Brother Where Art Thou, which is
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, really?
It's on my list.
It's a Southern fried retelling of the Odyssey. And so, there's women in that, Sirens.
So in some depictions of the myths, if a ship goes past and nobody dies, like if they don't entice anybody to their death, then they perish or something like that.
It's kind of adversarial.
Yeah, right? So, anyways.
We got to break out the good songs right away.
I know.
Genie in a bottle. 3, 4.
It's also possible that this Cardian's name, the sei part of her name, is a reference to the kanji for voice, which can be read as sei and is spelled S-E-I, which is the first part of her name.
Huh, that works out.
So, yeah.
And all that, and she doesn't sing.
I know.
What a waste.
That is going in my rating.
Yeah, that'll be reflected.
Just saying. So I kind of love talking about the Arcana cards because it's like sometimes they're so freaking obvious and other times it's like, I don't freaking know. And this is another, I don't know, because we already said somebody was temperance and that's the one that's the most associated with water.
Well,
and
there is, of course, okay, but there is the star. It's called the star.
Yeah.
But let me finish.
I'm listening.
It is a woman.
Yeah.
She is kneeling by a pond. She has 1 foot in the pond, 1 foot out of the pond. She's got 2 jars, one of which she's pouring into the pond, and the other one she's just pouring out on the ground.
Right.
And so it is a woman, naked, and water. And then a big star, of course, because it's star.
Star. Yeah.
So in the typical Japanese grab bag of representation and metaphor, I figured there's, a star on stage that's singing.
Yeah.
The aspects of the card upright are inspiration, hope, good health, I don't know. And then reversed, it could be despair, or disappointment, and missed opportunities.
Okay, I mean, that kind of seems to fit.
Yeah, but it seems to fit in that kind of horoscope way where it's
I know.
Yeah, but that's all I could think of.
Yeah.
That's a lady and she's in water.
I know.
That's the most I got.
Yeah, I know. It's hard.
Yeah, I don't think Ryder and Waite were thinking about like mermaids or anything when they made these major arcana cards.
No, I don't think they were either. We'll talk about her design real quick. So some of her skin, her face, neck, most of her chest and torso are a pale pink skin tone. And she has big, angular yellow eyes.
Again.
And her sclera are yellow. That's the part of your eye.
The white.
The white in your eyes.
The yellow.
Yeah, right, exactly. And her pupils are black. And she has bright red lips, pointy teeth, and long, bright pink hair, which is initially tied up with a string of pearls. Nice little touch there.
Sure.
Then she is also part fish or perhaps a mermaid. like a siren. I wanted to do that, so I'm glad that you did. Her smooth fish skin, which almost looks like it might have a similar texture to that of a dolphin or a shark, is a dark blue, and it covers her back, her breasts, her entire arms, including her hands. It kind of looks like she's wearing long sleeve gloves, and it covers what appears to be her mermaid tail. She also has a dorsal fin that sticks out of her back and two other fins that are at the top part of her tail, just below her navel on her front. The fins, as well as the end part of her tail, have lighter blue sections. And when she's standing on her tail, it appears to be a form-fitting dress that fans out in ruffles and light blue ruffles at the bottom. Very cool.
Yeah, it's it's okay. It's a lot of nudity for this one.
Yeah,
although
I know.
if it's her like orca body or whatever,
right.
But then it's just I guess it's still nudity, but it's fish flesh or whatever.
Right.
Kind of remind me of the Zora race from the Zelda series.
Oh.
They are a race of fish people who are mostly naked, but their skin and skin tone looks like clothes, kind of, and they
Gotcha.
have they're more fishy looking, but they've still got like a human face, like the sirens. They're birds, and sort of finny sort of parts on them, so it just sort of looks like that.
Okay, yeah. I like the overall design. I think it's pretty cool. And I'm giving her my rating now. And I like that she entangles all four of the senshi at once and drains their energy. However, since her namesake is a siren who are known for their singing, and Rei was singing at the festival, I think it was a real missed opportunity to not have her sing, or at least have a voice weapon.
Get in a sing fight or something.
Something. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Like dueling voices? I don't know.
Or if she was a dolphin, because we don't know if she's a fish or a mammal.
Right.
She could have like a whale song,
yes,
or echolocation or something like that.
Exactly.
Instead, she's got hair, which would put me in the mind of like an anemone.
Yeah.
Which would just, again, just crossing things all over again. An anemone is an animal, not a mammal, but so it's kind of sea stuff. I mean, at least she doesn't shoot seaweed at people, but it wouldn't surprise me. And I don't know what the golden dust pollen stuff is.
I got nothing.
There's nothing I can think of.
Sirens have no.
Well, a siren song could put you to sleep, maybe, or something like that. But she doesn't sing, so
right.
It doesn't. I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is either. It reminds me of like pixie dust, but that makes you fly. It doesn't put you to sleep.
That's according to Jan Barry. But
yeah, right. I know. So yeah, I'm gonna give her 3 out of 5 dark stars.
So generous. I'm gonna give her 2.
Wow.
And it's all look. Like, she's got an okay look, a simple but sort of clean look, and then pink hair for some reason.
Yeah, gotta have pink hair.
But she just doesn't do anything. Nothing related to her aspect as a siren. Nothing to. I mean, she shoots water, I guess, but that's like the first thing you think of with a fish. She didn't even have a blowhole. Come on, like this is another example, and we've seen this a lot so far in Sailor Moon R, where it's good that the encompassing story, I think, is pushing out the cardigans, because there's just so much going on. There's a festival, and we've got to do this festival, and we get all the way to the commercial break, and no monster, nothing, no super heroics, and then just at the end we bring in a monster. They have to quickly dust it off because we've got other stuff to do, and that's fine. I know that the structure of the show, we're always going to have a monster every episode. That helps us do this show because we've got segments.
Yes.
So I don't want to get rid of monsters, but I could almost see an episode where the monster is almost an afterthought, like a joke, because we've got so much stuff going on. But instead, you set all this kind of fun stuff up, and it's like, oh, here's a new aspect to Rei. And then, no, we got to, come on, everybody, come on, we got to do the monster. And we do the monster, and we just get rid of her, and it's like, oh, great. And there's nothing really there.
It didn't seem like we were leading up to this. It seemed like we had to stop
everything. With Goo Shooter, which we really should try to remember her name.
I know.
She was like, all those Cardians were humans that were transformed into monsters by Nephrite. Or
kunzite.
kunzite.
Yeah.
And so she had, like, in her human form, she had
Talents
and, like, a presence in the story up to that point.
Yes. It was a little different.
But the cardigans are so far, they just kind of come in and just do their thing and they're gone. And
yep.
I don't know how to feel about that. So, 2.
Okay.
And you're
that's
lucky
fair.
getting it 2.
I totally get where you're coming from. For Sabu or Dabu, where we talk about the differences, the most interesting differences between the sub and the dub. In the dub, the Cardian Siren was changed to Amphibia.
That's solid.
I guess.
It's fine.
In the dub, the scene with Mako, Minako, and Grandpa Hino selling amulets or omamori, which we talked about in episode 10, at Hikawa Shrine, was cut.
What?
Yeah, in the dub, we see an opening shot of Hikawa Shrine, and then Usagi and Ami show up looking for Rei.
So why are the girls dressed like Miko?
Not explained.
Awesome.
Yep. We gotta cut all that Japanese stuff out of this Japanese anime. In the dub, the scene where Grandpa Hino asks Ami and Usagi to work at the shrine, as well as Usagi's response, was cut. In the original, Luna implies that Usagi could learn how to be a better leader from Rei. Upset, Usagi hit Luna in the head, resulting in a large red anime lump. In the dub, the dialogue was changed, and the scene with Luna getting hit and the close-up on her face afterwards were cut. However, the next scene showed Luna's lump clearly and was not cut. I noticed that while I was watching it. Because, like, I actually went and looked at the dub a little bit, and I was like, wait, what? In the dub, even though Sailor Moon's transformation has been Moon Crystal Power for several episodes, in this episode, it was Moon Prism Power again. Oh, slappy deek.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. Somebody just messed up. So, yep. In the original, Sailor Mars power-up is Fire Soul Bird. In the dub, this gets changed to Mars Firebird Strike.
Okay.
Fine.
Sure.
Now we're up to our rating. I like that we get to see Mako and Minako help selling amulets at Hikawa Shrine in their Miko outfits. I think that's neat. I like that Rei has decided to only showcase her own singing talent in a concert starring her.
This must be like the song club or like the choir club or something like that?
Yeah, that's what's like, it's not made explicit, so I think so, but then everybody is like, in that club is totally okay with only Rei being the one singing and doing a concert. I don't think this is very typical, is what I'm saying. Like, they would do a concert, but it would feature more than just one person.
Yeah. I
also like that even though Rei acts like it was super easy for her to write her songs, that we do get a little behind the scenes, that it was a little bit of a struggle for her.
Yeah. I'm amazed Deke didn't cut that.
Yeah. No, they did not. So yeah, I like that. I actually overall, really enjoyed this episode. So I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 roses.
Wow. Well, that's going to make me feel like a jerk for giving it a 2 then.
Oh my God.
It's just not, it's not, it doesn't come together. And I think I laid out in my synopsis, the parts that just didn't have they were trying stuff. Sometimes you throw stuff out, you float stuff, you try to get to work, and it's not coming together. Mm-hmm. And it represents the kind of goofy riffs on characters that they often do on the show, but aren't making it work. Like an episode like the Rhett Butler episode. Rhett Butler!
Oh my gosh,
or
Rhett Butler.
The way that they just let the characters bounce off of each other and the jokes are just snapping and everything's working, and that's not this episode.
No.
And I appreciate another focus on Rei and getting more into her character. The last one was Yukio.
Yes.
the skiing one.
The skiing one.
Which was fine. But it's just not. I can imagine a much better episode in which Rei is trying to take control of a concert that she has commissioned, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point.
But the rest of it is just,
a lot of the jokes fell flat, like
you know,
said.
in the first season, we had this thing where I kept talking about how We need it. We need you now, Sailor Moon. Deliver us from the doldrums that the show, the series is reaching. And I feel that again. I feel that one more time. I need that sailor power because we're in a trough here, I think. I think I can tell when the show hits a holding pattern, you know, and hits they're marking time and we're waiting for something big. Yeah. And this is just kind of like filling in time, unfortunately. So I gotta stick with that too.
All right. I mean, that's fair. I mean, maybe I'm being a little generous with a 4. But I liked it.
You don't have to defend your rating. That's fine.
I know.
There's parts of it that I liked, but overall, it's not a great entry. Not a great half an hour of Sailor Moon, I wouldn't say.
Fair. My English title is Diva Ray, Starborn.
Starborn.
Yeah.
Diva Ray, the Starborn. In theaters this Friday. A star is born, but just starborn.
Yeah,
because it's English.
Because it's
English. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
I had A Star Is Born. I was like, that makes too much
sense.
No.
Too many articles.
Yes.
Too many linking verbs.
Take that out.
Starborn.
Yes.
A star is you.
Yes.
My Deke title is Stage Fight.
I like it. Accurate.
And the minimum amount of effort, just like this episode.
Next episode, we are talking about episode number 55, Tsukikage wa Seijiro, Moero Mako-chan in Japanese. Is Seijiro the Moonlight Knight? Mako on Fire, the English translation, and the English title, Food Fetish.
Okay. Some uncomfortable discussions with parents for this one.
Oh my goodness.
Unless I'm reading that wrong. But okay. So we haven't gone, well, yeah, no, this is it, right? We've gone around the horn. Mako will get some kind, she'll level up.
Yes.
And then we can just get through this.
Yeah.
And get to the next part.
There you go.
I like a Mako episode, though.
I do.
It's going to be a lot of
I like a Mako episode.
A lot of like misty remembrances of gazebos and things like that. But then you cut that with her throwing somebody through a plate glass window. You know, you got to have, both sides of it. You have to have the heart and the muscle at the same time.
Yes.
Just like Mako-chan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The feminine and the masculine side. Exactly.
The burly girl strikes back.
Yes. Well, that's our show for this week, and the Name of the Moon will be punishing you next week with another episode of Sailor Noob.
Mermaid!